Hi, Gene.
Hey, Lena. So good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Let's just have a seat.
Perfect.
Let's chit-chat a little bit. So, Arup, big idea. It's the first time that we can drink plain water without anything added to it and experience taste. And then the question is, how do you get to that idea, the idea of Arup?
So we're, as a generation, we're facing severe problems day in and day out. And what we know today is a lot of these problems get triggered by our consumption behavior or our modern lifestyle in general. So we as a society have to change, but that's easier said, unfortunately, than done, because we're just humans, we're stuck in our habits, we're stuck in our bodies, and therefore we struggle to change our consumption behavior from one day to another. So what really inspired me as a designer was to thinking about how to motivate people into a healthier and more sustainable consumption behavior through really clever product design instead of trying to force them into a new consumption behavior. So and as a designer, I'm always striving to find a solution to a problem, and that really drove me to get to Arup.
It really begs the question then, what makes Arup a more sustainable solution to the problem you described?
So we all know that tap water is probably the best thing to drink, right? It comes through environmentally friendly infrastructures, it's cheap, and the quality in most Western countries is pretty good. So the question is, why do we still buy pre-filled drinks that come with sugar sometimes and that get transported over long ways and therefore contributing to unnecessary emissions? And the answer to it is that we simply crave for flavor and we crave for convenience. And the solution we wanted to bring to the table should enable changing to a more sustainable consumption behavior, to a more healthy consumption behavior, just by not neglecting the needs and desires for flavor and convenience.
So what's Arup's impact on plastic? Could you elaborate a little bit on this?
One pod, and that's important, flavors up to 5 liters of water, or even more than that, depending on who is using the pod, and therefore can lead to plastic reduction. Because if you compare it to other flavored drinks you would buy from the supermarket, 5 liters of flavored drinks normally come in 5 single-use plastic bottles, and therefore one pod existing of 8 grams of plastic can lead to a large plastic reduction. Actually, it then would be 90% more plastic efficient.
Wow. So one tiny pod generates 5 liters worth of flavor. What else makes Arup sustainable?
Well, it's a reusable system, right? So you can use it over a very long time. And also the materials we chose are very durable. So actually some of us are still using the bottles from the very early days on. And on top of that, and that's I think something that's important, when something breaks, right? I mean, that's sometimes happens. You don't have to rebuy the whole system, but you can just rebuy the single parts, like the spare parts.
So there's the option to just replace where it breaks, which is also more sustainable. What is life-centered design? Is that a thing? Like, how would you describe that?
Well, life-centered design basically means that during the product development, we have not only looked at the human needs and desires, but we also had a look at the impact the product creates onto society, but also on the planet. For those people who are hooked onto flavored drinks, we can offer them a real alternative, because pre-filled drinks come with sugar again, but they're also heavy and they have to be transported over long ways, and therefore contributing to emissions and also resulting in a lot of plastic waste.
And then sustainability is such a hairy topic a little bit, because it's something maybe people fail to understand, that it is always a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's never sort of a fixed, set thing that's just standard. It's a continual effort.
Yeah, I think you said it pretty well. There's no such thing as a sustainable product. I think there's only a more sustainable product. So what we can do is to consistently improve upon our footprint. And we are very aware that we're not perfect yet. But what we want to do, and also for the future, is to consistently improve. And there are so many things to improve upon, right? There's material, there's logistics, there's production, there are new ideas. So I would also, not only at our company, but I would also love to see more ideas such like that, more creative solutions to the problem of climate change for the future. And I'm super excited to see them.
Well, I think at the end of the day, your innovation and your product and yourself as a person, it's really part of the spear tip that's, motivating the generation to come up with these ideas and products that are going to shape a better tomorrow. So I think you're doing great work. It's been so great today to have you here to talk about Air Up sustainability. I just want to thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, Lena Jungst for Air Up.
Yes, thank you for having me.
There's just no one here, though.
Yeah, no one applauding. It's okay.